Hello everybody, this is Orange, and welcome to my abyss. I thought it would be fun to do the Mangatube Tag, started by Christy Liu. Link to that will be in the description below. I'm gonna do the manga tab and introduce myself for fun. Alright, so the first question on the Mangatube Tag is introduce yourself. As stated in the intro, I'm Orange. Not my real name though, my real name is Erin, you can call me by either one. I'm 21. I'm currently a college student, going through that right now. I'm majoring in marine biology, so I'm the fish manga. I'm the fish manga reader. So yeah, that's generally to get to know me. Question 2 is, when did you start reading manga? So I actually started reading manga, I believe around 2010 to 2011-ish, where I found a copy of Cardcaptor Sakura, Master of the Cloud, because it was a Tokyo Pop one, and they divided up the series weird. I believe it was volume 8. It was the one where Sakura had, I think, the cat outfit on, and I picked that one because I thought she had the cutest outfit. Because I thought that's how it worked. It's like, oh, what do you mean it has an order? I'm just going to go with the cutest outfit because I make the best judgment. So I read that. I had no clue how to read that. But that was my first introduction to manga, and I started diving into anime a bit after that too. Probably around 2012-ish, where my first anime that got me back into anime was Tokyo Mew Mew. I love Tokyo Mew Mew, and then from that I started to actually collect my own manga in 2012. I believe starting with Vampire Game was probably my first manga that I bought myself, and then it just expanded into this. So I've been collecting manga for pretty much almost 10-ish years, on and off, because a lot of the collecting manga I was middle school, and you don't have a lot of money in middle school, so a lot of the collecting has been recent. Next question number 3 is, what is your favorite genre? Now this is always a super hard question to answer. I'd have to say that my favorite genre probably lies with stuff that is supernatural or fantasy based. That's a very vague genre because I don't know, even genres that I'm not a big fan of, I'm not a big fan of romance and stuff like that. I still find myself occasionally reading a romance if I like the characters and I like the personalities and everything. But I do tend to veer towards more supernatural and fantasy-based things. I like fantastical worlds. I like being transported to a new realm. Even urban fantasy stuff where it's the normal slice of life world, but we got fantasy going on. I just like it. I think it's fun. I like seeing fantasy stuff. That's the same thing for more than just manga, movies and comics. Love me some fantasy. Question 4 is, how do you read manga, which is digitally, physically, library, etc. I try to read all of my manga physically. I like the feeling of holding the manga, smelling the manga. I like the I like the smell of books as someone who collects a lot of books. I feel like I can retain information a lot better when it comes to when I have the thing being held. That's pretty much all kinds of text for me. I like holding things. So I like reading all of my manga physically. I have occasionally read some stuff digitally, and when I was younger I read a lot of stuff from the library. Haven't really been able to go to the library much recently because we're just getting out of quarantine, baby! Up next is, what is your favorite manga? So this is also a very hard question, which pretty much changes depending on the mood I'm in when you ask me. But, first favorite manga is going to be, one of the more generic answers is, Fullmetal Alchemist. This series is very, very dear to me. I read it through middle to high school. I'd always go to the middle, the high school library and pick up some copies. I love the anime series based off of it. I love Brotherhood. The original series, it has some good stuff and some bad stuff. I think I need to rewatch it, but there are some things that I remember I do not like much from the 2003 series. But Brotherhood, I watch all the time with my friends. If I have friends over and we want to watch a show, I am always we gotta watch Brotherhood. That's the best one. And the series has so many good memories of just me reading through it. It's beautiful, the characters are fantastic. It is a generic answer to go for when you're talking about your favorite anime and manga, but I think it's legit good. It deserves all the praise it gets. It's fantastic. I'm loving the Full Metal edition so far. I only have one. I gotta collect the rest of that because I love this series so dang much. I love you so much. Who's your favorite Fullmetal Alchemist character? I really like Ling. I love Ling. I love Greed. I love Scar. I love them all. Who's your favorite Elric brother? I like Alphonse more. He's a sweetie boy. I love him so much. But yeah, I also love Olivier. Queen right there. That's the queen. So yeah, a fantastic series. Probably most of you have read it. It's one of the most popular series for a reason. So yeah, we go. Another series which may be a little more obscure, which I love, is the Cirque du Freak manga. So the Cirque du Freak manga is actually based off of a book series by Darren Shan. The series is also commonly called the Saga of Darren Shan because the writer of the book is Darren Shan and the main character of the book is also Darren Shan. It's a long story, but I love the manga. I love the book series. I actually think I like some aspects of the manga more than I like the book series, and then we don't talk about the movie. I'm only allowed to talk about the movie. Read this first if you want to watch the movie. Don't watch the movie. But yeah, I love the characters. I love the setting. It's just fantastic. I love how the story like progresses. I'm super happy that this is getting a omnibus re-release because it was originally released like way back when, and I read it through library copies when I was younger. I went to the library a lot, and like then suddenly I think it went like the original like one like volume print like that seemed to like go out of existence as soon as I try to start collecting it. It's all like the one by one volume for $60, and I'm all like not just yet. But when I heard Yam Press was republishing it with 2 volumes per omnibus, I'm like, oh, yes, score. I don't have to spend the fortune. But this is one of my favorite series. Give it a read if you want something like more fantasy-based. You got vampires, you got snake boys, you got fighting, you got war, you got dragons eventually. You got so much cool stuff in here. It's great. And also like read the book series too, because that one's great as well. I really enjoy the series. It's one of my personal favorites. Another favorite, pretend I'm holding it. I'll hold another blonde boy. I'll hold a Lucas figurine to symbolize it. Zatchbell. I love the Zatchbell manga so much. Sadly, it's like really out of print. It's hard to find, and I don't think they ever finished the run in America. I think they only got like 25 out of like 33 volumes. But I love Zatchbell. I love it so dearly. The anime is really fun too, even though it never covered the final arc and had like some filler. I actually kind of like the filler arcs in it. But Zatchbell is a shonen series, and I find it to be super sweet, super heartfelt. You go into it and you're like, oh, and you look at the character designs and you're like, oh, this looks super cheesy and goofy, and it is. But then you go on a few chapters and you realize, oh my god, I'm crying so much. It's a series that really like hits you in the feels. It has a really interesting like a spread of like characters and comedy and settings, and it's just so sweet and so dear. And I love Zatch and I love Kyo. I love all the characters so much. I would say read Zatchville if you can find it. But yeah, I love Zatchville. So those are like my 3 favorites at the moment. Who knows when it could change. These are also like things that are actually completed. I don't really like calling something my favorite until I'm like finished with it. So like currently like I'm reading through like a Jin's almost done and Dorohedoro is I'm reading through it, and I'm loving those 2 series as well, but I'm not done with them, so I can't judge. Maybe Jin is gonna do something stupid in the last book, but I don't know. I'm happy for that last volume. Next question is, what kind of videos do you make? So if you actually look at the past few videos, this is a new era of Orange. I have been on YouTube for a while, I think like 5 or so years, and you can go back to like my earlier channels, and it's camcorder Let's Plays. And I kind of want to like shift away from doing that, and I want to like look into a lot of like different topics that I'm interested in now. I'm going to stick to doing like Mangatube stuff, like maybe occasional haul, because I do like seeing people's hauls. I like seeing people talk about the manga they're reading, recommendations, like weird manga topics that I want to talk about. But I also want to talk about other things that I have like an interest in, like animation and books and like media talk in general. It is going to mostly be focused on like manga adjacent things. So if you're coming from manga, I am going to talk about manga a lot, but I want to talk about other things too, because I'm interested in a lot of stuff. And this is my abyss, and much like the ocean and the abyss in the ocean, you can find anything. Next question is, what do you hope you'll get out of your channel? In regards to manga, if you saw my my previous hauls, is I like collecting, like, I have like some of the more like well-known stuff, but I also like collecting more obscure and older series. I'm getting like a Tezuka collection, and like I'm collecting like Gege no Kitaro. I want people to like learn about like I guess the history of manga, seeing like the older stuff we got in there, some more obscure things, and maybe and stuff that like doesn't like regard my like manga. When I do eventually make videos about that, I wanna teach people about like fun media things that I know, because I watch a lot of weird stuff, and y'all are gonna have to learn about that. What hobbies do you have outside of manga? I draw. I love drawing so much. You always improve at drawing. I actually write a webcomic on Webtoon, which is like, we're 1 year in and I'm 10 chapters in, because, oh boy, school was tough in quarantine. But I am an artist. I did this one right there. Not really my usual style. I like cartoony stuff, but I do a lot of drawing. Aside from that, I like watching a lot of different like movies. I love watching movies and shows. I love going into like animation, figuring out like what's going on. I love looking at like obscure things. A weird one is I like the finger knit. That's an interesting one. I got a ball that I need to finger knit to add to the mother ball. One day y'all are gonna see that mother ball and you're gonna be terrified. But yeah, that's just general stuff. Mostly art. Next question is, what is next up on your reading list? So next up on my reading list is more of like collecting. I want to start collecting Beastars, Chainsaw Man, Natsume's Book of Friends, The Roses of Versailles, and Vinland Saga. I also want to start collecting things like Fruits Baskets and Nausicaa, but I've already read those two series, so I wouldn't even see they're up next on my reading list. But the manga collection game is a slow one, and yeah, I want to eventually get to those series because I'm loving the Beastars anime. I hear fantastic things about the manga. And I love the expressions in the manga. That's mostly why I want to get it, because like I think all the characters are drawn so like funly. Chainsaw Man is everyone's recommending that one, and they say like it's more horror based, and I do love horror too as a genre. I didn't say that before, but I love horror, and like why not? Why not have some fun? Natsume's Book of Friends is a good old chill series. I've watched the anime for that, and I want to get to collecting the manga. Roses of Versailles, classic. That's a classic one right there. Want to get to that one too, but those volumes are a bit more pricey because like they're hardcover and there's a whole lot of ink in those, and it's historical. The other one is Vinland Saga, another hardcover one, which might be a bit harder to collect, but that's another historical one, which I did see the anime for that one. I've also seen the anime for The Rose of Versailles. I want to start collecting all those series eventually. Who knows which one I'll start collecting first. It's really the first one I can get my hands on for a reasonable price, or even not a reasonable price. Maybe people will get them for me for gifts. Who knows? So what am I looking for in other manga channels? I'm looking for good vibes. I've been watching like a lot of smatterings of like different like manga tubers for like the past few months. Not even the past few months, for like a while now. And really, I like all the different personalities we get. I like hearing people talk about the series that they love. Like, especially, like, the more obscure or even more well-known series that they love. Everyone has a different reason for loving a series. I love seeing what people collect, what people find. Because you have, like, the constants in, like, everyone's collection. Like, oh, everyone has, like, these 3 series in their collection. But I like seeing what the different series that people, like, not a lot of people have in their collections, what they have in common. I like hearing people just talk about things they enjoy talking about. I think it's super fun. So yeah, I'm just looking for fun vibes. I watch a lot of like Mangatube before I go to sleep because I find like collections and hauls to be like super like chill, and they get the energy down, and I'm all like, oh, I can sleep now that I know that Mangatube 24 has collected one book of Dorohedoro. I like it. I like listening to people talk about things they like, and I like rambling if you can't tell. So yeah, and I think the 11th question is, how many people would you tag? I'm new. I don't really know too many people in Mangatube personally, so I think it'd be weird if I say, hey, random person who I've never talked to before, do you want to do this tag? So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say thank you very much for listening. I'm hoping to get at least like a video out a week. I will be starting up a summer class soon, and I also have work, so I'm hoping I'll be able to do stuff weekly. If not, I'm always on Twitter. You can always find me there, which my Twitter is usually linked below as well. And like I'm sometimes on Tumblr, if you want to check out there. It's pretty much the same stuff as Twitter, but like less of it. But yeah, thank you very much for listening, and have a lovely night.